All right, block days. Here you go. Tools you need. You could use this or this or this. But we're going to turn our rectangles and our base into a cylinder with a base. So hopefully your rectangle dried up enough. It should still bend very easily without cracking. But when you pick up one side, it doesn't just fold around your fingers because it's still so wet. Okay? And the actions you're going to be doing, you people on Thursday might have a slightly harder time, especially if you didn't close your bag enough. So in that case, you would just mist it or paint it with some water, let it rest for a second or two or three. All right. Closing this carefully. Okay. And then I'm going to use any way to make the marks go quickly, because we want this to be a seamless line. We don't want anything to be seen. That's what I'm going for. You can choose to do it differently as long as it looks good. Notice how this one would have done the same thing. It could be quicker for some people. Okay. I'm now going to take my cup of slip. There is one per table. Do not take other tables. One per table stays one per table. You can use only water if you want. If you don't want to wait for the cup of slip, you can get water if you can find a cup. Okay? But remember, it's not, your clay right now is not very loose because we let it dry so that it would be stable. So we're trying to re-moisten it. And so now I'm going to just push together everything that I got. Squeeze and push, squeeze and push. Okay. And just keep putting your finger over it. Just keep moving it along, back and forth. Okay. You'll still have, notice on the inside, there's still a line. That also needs to be taken care of. Okay. So that is harder to deal with. So maybe we take our knife or something, another tool, and we just start spreading the clay between both sides, holding the back of it. Maybe you want to moisten it down, but I'm just taking the knife and I'm just slowly smoothing out the line, going back and forth to try and not see anything. And if your clay is not reacting very well because it's cracking or whatever, you need to moisten it and let it sit while it absorbs the moisture till you have, not flimsy, but you have something a little bit better. So now I have my cylinder. You'll notice on the base, it made a little circle. So now I'm going to use the knife. Again, it doesn't really matter, and I just need to poke holes where the cylinder touched it. Okay. So I got that. And then just to show you, Okay, so I used this, made those lines, put water around that, and then put it on the base. Turn it back and forth a little, very carefully, not too much. You'll hurt the rest of it, but it really takes very little. Okay, and that makes your cylinder. See this little mark right here? Well, this is the time before you cut off the base, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut off the base to have the circle. This is a good time to try to make sure that they're fully joined together before you do anything drastic. You don't want any holes in it. If you want to fill it with liquid, I know that's not a candle thing, but okay. And now using your knife or some other device, try to be as straight up and down as possible. Just cut around the cylinder. Got the circle, got the base. And use the rest of class to make sure that you are attaching the base, getting rid of the lines. Okay. Be very careful at this stage. I have this little line right here. I know this is boring, I apologize. So I'm taking this flat edge right here. The knife has a flat edge too. And now I'm just taking the flat edge and just scraping it across, filling in gaps where I can. And this is where you get the really smooth surfaces. Okay. Filling in the gaps. Okay. Getting a sponge, doing the rest.